I don't know. That's a good question. I think I care more this year, which I don't know why. I definitely shouldn't care more because, like I said, on EG, bro, I never cared at all. If I played bad, played good, it didn't matter. I was just having fun, just in the league, just very thankful to be there and just for fun.
Yeah.
So definitely, yeah, I want to get back to that state where it's really just all instincts, not really much thinking, but I definitely do reflect nowadays.
Everyone, Stage 2 in here. I'm here with 100 Thieves Boostio after their series against MIBR. Unfortunately, it was a 0-2 loss, so I know it's a bit tough to be able to kind of reflect on it immediately after the series, but do you feel like there were any things that you're maybe repeating in terms of mistakes, maybe from like the crew series? Like, what were your kind of immediate thoughts after that all?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of rounds where we're up a lot of numbers and then we just lose it somehow when it seems unlosable. When we do really good things to get to that spot, but then after we get into like 3v2 or 4v2, we just find a way to lose it. So we just need to not let that happen, and then we just need to win pistols and or our first gun round.
How do you avoid those, or like how do you kind of focus on that in preparation? Does it just come to running repetitions of similar scenarios like that, or is it maybe just calming your breath during that? How do you kind of fix that with practice?
I think it's pretty easy to fix. It's just I think we know not to do any very aggressive strats on our anti-eco. They're on low buy, so we just need to all go together. And then when it gets to 3v2, 4v2 in the low buy, you just don't over peak and you just hold with your teammate, and then you should be fine. They have classics and shit.
Something that I feel like I've heard a lot is this talk about the process always. Mm-hmm. So I'm just genuinely curious. After losses, I've heard, G2 has a system where they have bullet points for kind of every mistake and they kind of run through it. Is there a certain system for how you improve on a week-to-week basis after losses? Like, how do you kind of go about practice so that it's efficient?
Tony definitely just watches all the VODs, and then he will pretty much bring, I guess it's not bullet points, but he'll write the main themes of why we played bad or why we're losing. And then we will write it on a whiteboard. We'll talk about it, who's doing what really bad, who's doing stuff really good, and then just focus it on that day for practice.
Mm. And then I'm genuinely curious for you, do you have to come in, because you're IG, do you have to come in an extra hour or two earlier, or no? How do you kind of work with Tony outside of the actual practice hours?
I've been in IGL. On EG, it was the same way. I was never super making a bunch of strats or anything like that. I mean, I could do it, but I definitely prefer not to do that type of stuff. So Tony brings a lot of the strats and or ideas, and then this is more for ideas, not strats. He'll bring in a lot of strats. Well, I guess I don't know, but he brings in everything, to be honest. Strats, ideas, theories, and then I'll just give my, feedback, and then I will be very, trying to implement them into the scrim, very, not harshly, but, be very adamant about trying to practice that in scrims.
Mm-hmm. So what would you describe as your best quality as an IGL? Is it taking that information and then being able to communicate it effectively to your teammates, or is it more so being able to keep vibes and spirits up so that you don't let rounds snowball?
I see. Yeah, I think my best quality when I'm playing well or at least calling well, is I do think I can read what's winning in the round better than anyone in the world, and it's not even close. I think there's a lot of rounds where my call seems not optimal, but and this is all instinctually too. I Tony, or not Tony, but people have asked me why do this. And it's hard for me to tell them exactly why, because I'm doing it during the match or practice. I'm not analytically thinking about it. So I definitely, it's instincts, to be honest. It's I think I am, when I'm calling well, the best mid rounder in the world, 100%. It's not even close. But it can backfire sometimes. So that's the negative of it. I think sometimes my call can be grief, but when I'm calling well, 99% of the time, no other IGL would make the call, and I make it, and I can process stuff very quickly.
I remember Sadik was talking about this flow state whenever with his calls when everything's aligned and all that. Do you kind of feel like you're in a flow state?
Yeah, I know 100%. The flow state thing is 100% true. On EG, it happened every game because I don't know why we were just hot streaking, and it happened last year on 100T 90% of games, and then this year it's probably been 50-50. To be honest, it hasn't been as good. like, or me getting into that like flow state mode. So that sucks, but it's 100% true. Like on EG and last year on RT, like a lot of games, just you are in this flow state. You can communicate stuff super well. You understand everything that's going on in the map. You're hyper aware, and then you make a good call.
I'm genuinely curious because, it's not realistic to just be in that state 100% of the time. When you're not in that and you go into a series and you just feel something's kind of off, what are the things that you do for yourself so that you can prevent kind of this thought of, okay, I'm not like super locked in, but I can at least get to a point where I'm at an even base and then do the most important thing, which is just get this win and get this dub?
Yeah. I think the easiest thing for me is like to get in that mode is like just like the first second gun round, first 2 gun rounds. If you call something pretty simple based off like what you saw in the round, and then you do it as a team and like your teammates or you like get really good trades, that definitely like boosts dopamine, I think, for me at least. If like we have a huge team fight, like one person jumps, 2 people are swinging from opposite angles, and then if you call something like that, then I naturally will just go into it and then start calling much more like in-depth rounds, to be honest.
I actually also did want to ask you kind of just what we've been talking about more, where it's the growth, how you've kind of just learned more about your IGLing style. This is a question from the content creator Polars. You was talking about how you just seem a lot calmer compared to before, where you would just stand up and yell after every round win. Is that just kind of something that comes with maturity, or is that kind of just the state of where you're just really trying to improve and you're locked on that?
That's a good question. I don't know, because I definitely don't think it's maturity. I'm still like a child, to be honest. But I do want to yell, but I feel like there just hasn't been any really good matches where like I've super gotten into that vibe, because I definitely also no flame to riot or anything like that, but like I've like also like I tweeted something that got me in trouble, so I also don't want to like push my boundaries a lot, to be honest. Yeah, right. So I don't want to push my boundaries for one, and then 2, like a lot of teams I feel like have been worse, or like the games we have won, we've like won against EG, which like I don't want to yell at bad teams. I want to yell at teams that I respect and that are good. So like me yelling at like 2G, it's not, that just feels wrong. Me yelling at like EG, that just feels wrong. So like I want to do it like when it really matters. So potentially for Energy tomorrow, there could be some shit talking to Ethan, to Evanes. So I feel like that's going to be like a very fun game.
That's a really interesting perspective with everything, where it's so. I guess just kind of summarize it. Do you feel like it's like the level of quality of play has just gone down this year compared to other years? Or is it more so the level?
I think it's been, I think the level of play has been pretty good, actually. I think it's been probably better overall. But like the Sen, for example, the Sen game, this season, split 1 was like our first game. So of course I'm going to be more like trying to lock in, like be very focused. And then like, then the next 3 were like the teams that I think are, not very good. And then we played crew, and that crew game was like weird because we had no fans. We're in like a tiny dark room. So it's like, I couldn't really yell. Like they said, don't stand up either, really. So it's like, there's a lot of things this year have like kind of made me stray away from it, to be honest. But I definitely still want to do it. Like I love shit talking. I love, getting hype. So I still want to do it, but it's just this year, like some things have just not gone that way, really.
That's fair. And I followed your career for a while. I mean, the interview when you were like EG 2022 remote. Yeah, it feels like you reflect more on things, or you kind of can process things more. Talk to me about that. Like, is that kind of a recent thing more? Or?
Yeah, I do. I think it is more recent. I personally don't like it. I'm gonna be honest. I like being clueless. Yeah. I hate thinking. So, yeah, I definitely do reflect more though than I ever have in the past. Which I think is bad, to be honest, for me, myself. I think reflecting is usually, for the average person, very good. I think, I never reflected for the last, like, my whole life, besides, like, this year. So I've definitely thought a lot more, like, used my brain and just, like, thought about my emotions and feelings. I think it's definitely not the best for me. I like just no brain, just play the game and then do whatever my instincts tell me. But definitely have reflected more.
Mm-hmm. Is it because life was a little simpler in your mind, and then now there's just a bunch of just different thoughts, and you're trying to catch it all?
Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question. I think I care more this year, which I don't know why. I definitely shouldn't care more because, like I said, on EG, bro, I never cared at all. If I played bad, played good, it didn't matter. I was just having fun, just in the league, just very thankful to be there and just for fun.
Yeah.
So definitely, yeah, I want to get back to that state where it's really just all instincts, not really much thinking, but I definitely do reflect nowadays.
Yeah, it's like a balance of the two now.
Or I need to find the balance of the two.
Yeah, exactly.
So
then, I mean, just talk to me about, series tomorrow.
Energy.
Yeah. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, in the past, I've said it so many times. I love versing FNS, love versing Ethan. So being able to, potentially eliminate them from Toronto would be fucking sick. My two favorite players to play against. And then, it's going to be awesome. What was I going to say? I forgot. Totally lost my train of thought. But, yeah, I think people love watching 100T and Energy in the first place. They know that me and FNS, also me and FNS are just playing bad, so people love to see like who's going to play worse out of the two. I think that's going to be fun for the fans. I think love versing Ethan, like I said, favorite person to verse, want to eliminate him from Toronto. And then, it's just going to be a banger.
Awesome, Boostio. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.